A 25-year-old homeless man is behind bars for sexually assaulting and killing a 5-year-old girl near a gas station. At just before 6 p.m. on Monday the 2nd of October, authorities responded to Dillon's Fuel Center at 2010 Southeast 29th Street in Topeka, Kansas on reports of a medical call. When officers arrived, paramedics were already on scene attempting life-saving measures on a young girl. She was transported to a nearby hospital in a critical condition, where she later succumbed to her injuries. The girl was identified as 5-year-old Zoe Felix. Police cordoned off the gas station along with a bushy area across the road at 2018 Southeast 29th Street. During the investigation, detectives quickly identified Michael Wayne Cherry as the suspect. Michael reportedly knew the child, but was not related to her, and lived in the same homeless camp as the family. Authorities have not released Zoe's cause of death. On the morning of Tuesday the 3rd of October, Michael was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and rape, and is held at the Shawnee County Jail with bond set at $2 million. The investigation into the matter continues. 63-year-old Donald Ray Lance and 61-year-old Jean J. Whitefeather are behind bars for locking their adopted children in a barn for days without proper food or water. At 5:46 p.m. on Monday the 2nd of October, authorities responded to the 200 block of Cheyenne Lane in Sissonville, West Virginia to complete a welfare check. A neighbor contacted 911 to report seeing Donald open the barn door and talk to the children before he closed it and locked them in. The caller told dispatchers that the victims were believed to be confined to the barn for days at a time. The caller also said the children were forced to perform farm work and had to stay outside the home. When deputies knocked on the door of the residence, no parents or caretakers were home, so deputies forced entry into the barn. Inside, they found a juvenile boy and girl locked in a 20 by 14 foot room without running water, no bathroom facilities, and were deprived of hygienic care and food. The children, who were wearing dirty clothes, emitted a strong body odour indicating that they hadn't been properly bathed for days. Deputies observed just one table and chair inside the barn. They also noticed a concrete floor, plywood walls, and a camera in the corner of the room. During a search of the property, deputies discovered another small child locked inside the main home in an unprotected loft that was about 15 feet high. Donald and Jean eventually arrived home and were arrested on felony charges of child neglect creating a substantial risk of injury. Jean confessed to deputies that she and Donald left the children in the barn and said that they like it. The couple each remain in the West Virginia Regional Jail on a $200,000 bond. Child Protective Services took custody of the 3 adopted children. The investigation into the matter continues. A social activist and environmentalist was fatally stabbed in an unprovoked attack which was captured on security footage. At around 3:50 a.m. on Monday the 2nd of October, 32-year-old Ryan Carson and his girlfriend Claudia were sitting on a bus stop bench outside a deli at Lafayette Avenue and Malcolm X Boulevard in Brooklyn, New York, and were almost home after returning from a wedding on Long Island. The couple got up and began walking down the street in the same direction as a man in a dark-coloured sweatshirt who had just strolled past them moments earlier, with his hood over his head and his hands in his pockets. Just feet ahead of them, the crazed man starts kicking scooters parked near the curb for no apparent reason, before suddenly turning on Ryan yelling, "What the fuck are you looking at?" Ryan tries to defuse the situation, saying he wasn't looking at anything, then steps between his girlfriend as the man charges screaming, "I'll kill you," while Ryan puts his hand up to stop him, urging him to chill. The man pulls out a knife and attacks Ryan, who stumbles over the bench the couple had earlier been sitting on. The attacker then grabs Ryan's jacket and stabs him multiple times in the chest, piercing his heart. The stranger then walks away as Ryan lied curled up on the ground, before returning and approaching Claudia, who raises her hand to stop him. He then spits on her, while clutching the knife before kicking Ryan's body and storming away. Another woman believed to be the assailant's girlfriend arrived on scene, yelling "Don't hurt him," and repeating the name Brian. She said "I'm so sorry" and 911 was contacted. Claudia stayed with Ryan until medics arrived and rushed him to Kings County Hospital Center, where he was pronounced dead. No arrests had been made, but a wanted poster circulated shows a close-up of the suspect wearing a Black Champion sweatshirt. Investigators have not recovered the murder weapon. The suspect initially tossed the knife into a pile of trash, before quickly going back to retrieve it. A pair of glasses worn by the victim and 2 books that Claudia had been carrying during the ordeal were found by investigators at the site of the attack. Investigators said that Brian is said to have prior summonses for disorderly conduct in 2022. Authorities said that 2 months ago, he broke his girlfriend's belongings during a fight in her apartment. His aunt called 911 at the time, describing him as emotionally disturbed. Ryan was a senior solid waste campaign manager at the New York Public Research Group. His activism focused on sustainability and environmental policies. The investigation into the matter continues.